All right, good afternoon. You're watching Republic TV with me, Parikshit Luthra. We're getting some breaking news at this point, and this is about anti-corruption activist Anna Hazare writing to the Prime Minister. Yes, the news we're getting. Anna Hazare has written to the Prime Minister warning him that he would restart his campaign if Lokayukt isn't appointed and the Swaminathan report isn't implemented. Anna Hazare is warning the Prime Minister that despite the movement going on for several months and several years, a Lokpal has not been appointed. He has written a scathing letter to Prime Minister Modi. This is what we are picking up. Anna Hazare further says in his letter that on the issue of Lokpal, there is a difference between words and action, and he warns of an agitation in Delhi over Lokpal. Remember how Anna Hazare had really gathered lakhs of people from across the country for his anti-corruption agitation in the national capital. This was during the UPA's regime. There were several assurances given by the then Prime Minister as well, but Anna Hazare, it seems now, is frustrated with the fact that very little movement has happened on the ground. And now we're getting you details of Anna Hazare's personal letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, raising questions on the implementation of the Lokpal. And he is saying that he would go on a protest again. He would go on an agitation once again. Last time he went on a hunger strike. The government had to send several ministers to go and personally meet him and intervene and request him to break his fast. And Anna Hazare has written to Prime Minister Modi. And let's go across to Payal now for the very latest. Payal, Anna Hazare, the anti-corruption activist, the crusader, writing a letter to Prime Minister Modi warning him of another agitation if the Lokayukt is not appointed. How are your sources in the government? How are BJP leaders seeing this?
Well, of course, yes, this is a scathing attack coming on from the anti-corruption crusader. Remember, Anna Hazare, sort of drove that entire movement. It spoke about the need to, in fact, have a corruption-free India. And then he spoke about the Lokpal and the Lokpal bill and, of course, the Lokayukt being set up. But here in his letter, he says that, there has been, since May 2014, it's been about 3 years' time that this government has come into power. What have they really done? He, in fact, sarcastically puts out also saying that this government has put out many ads in the papers talking about, how they have been moving towards a corruption-free sort of government, etc. But what is really happening on ground? It seems that these are only merely verbal assurances that have been given. He really goes on to say that why is it that this government has not been able to do anything concrete? Why is Lokayukt and of course Lokpal not such a reality in many states? So clearly, at this point in time, speaking about various instances and various issues, he basically said that you've been talking about corruption-free governments. You've been talking about the fact that this government is different from the others. What about those promises that you've really been you've been made? You've been able to progress as far as that is concerned. So if that is not to happen anytime soon, then, Anna Hazare wants to come back to Delhi and set up his agitation again. And remember, it was during the UPA rule, of course, earlier that we saw Anna Hazare come up and drive this massive movement. Remember,
right.
He sat on hunger strike for many days over there. Of course, at the time,
Payal, thanks for getting us the breaking update. You really summed up the story for us and how the government is viewing this as well. Let's move on to the other breaking piece of news coming in at this point.